Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dragonrana podcast, the podcast where we take a look back at the 2017 year of New Japan Pro Wrestling and see how great it actually was. My name is Kyle, and joining me once again is my brother Justin. Say hi, Justin.
That's me. Hello. How you doing?
And yeah, holy shit, episode 2. We made it.
Episode 2, I can't believe it. I'm so excited.
We survived episode 1. We made it. We're on episode 2 now. Sorry about this taking a little while to get out, and it being a little kind of weird with how we're scheduling things. We're just kind of very busy in life in general, and it's hard for us to hammer out time to watch a 3-hour or 4-hour show and then record for it for 2 hours or however long it's going to take. I'm working and looking for a full-time job. I just finished college this past semester, and Justin is pretty much working full-time this summer.
30 hours close.
Yeah, and preparing to leave for his first year at school this September, which will throw another whole monkey wrench into the plan of how we're going to keep doing this while he's at school. I think we could figure something out. It'd be more of a timing issue because he's going to be busy with a lot of schoolwork and possibly still working remotely.
Yep.
So
it'll be an interesting time.
We will hopefully figure something out in the next few months and maybe get a regular schedule that we could expect something to be done with. But yeah.
I'm not planning on a regular schedule. I'm planning on just doing this whenever I feel like it. So there you go.
We do have a few subscribers, and I want to be.
We do? I kind of forgot that we.
I think we have like 8 on YouTube or something.
I
like
am
that right
amazed.
Now. So yeah,
we're famous.
I want to have some kind of a schedule, but we'll. I think we can take some time to figure out what exactly that is, and it doesn't have. I think people understand that lives are busy and. This doesn't have to be every week that we need a new episode or anything like that.
Do people like it, or people people
have fun? The people who have made it through seem to like it.
Cool, I'm happy.
All right, so that's what's going on with the podcast. We're gonna do our best to get a schedule out in the next couple of months and figure out what we're doing, but no promises because life is hectic.
Life is life, and life is first over wrestling, even though.
All right. So we are recording this on the 5th of August, 2018. Anything interesting going on right now, Justin?
There's not really much going on.
Not really?
With wrestling.
Just some small little
specifically
tournament.
In the world of New Japan, there's not much going on.
Yeah, just smack dab in the middle of a little thing called the G1 right now.
That you are trying to watch all of, which I find to be insane.
Just do it once a year. Watch all 19 3-hour shows.
Yeah, I have barely got through all the G1 matches, so
yeah,
So
as soon as we're done here, we're gonna go watch the next night. Which what do we have on there? Tanahashi and
Okada and Evil's the main event.
Okada and Evil. Tanahashi. Who's Tanahashi with? I can't remember. Elgin. That's right. Those are the big matches tonight. Jay White, Tanahashi, and Okada are still alive in the A block, and I believe it's Omega, Bushi, and Naito in the B. So
who do you think's going all the way? We've talked about it.
I went with my heart at the beginning. I got to stick with it. It's got to be Ibushi.
I wanted Ibushi to win at the beginning. Like that was my original pick. But like from where we are now, I think it's gonna just be Okada, and they're just gonna do Okada Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. Just play it safe.
I still think they're saving that for next year's Wrestle Kingdom because I told you before. I talked about it with you. It's gonna be the Saturday one. It's gonna January 4th is gonna fall on a Saturday, so they're gonna want as many people in that building as they can possibly get. And right now, what bigger match can you do than Okada Omega? So save that for next year.
I get it, but I think they're just gonna play it safe. What I would like them to do is have Omega win it.
And then challenge Ibushi.
And then challenge Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom.
And they could wrestle to a draw in their G1 match, so they don't have a definitive winner. Yeah. And then Omega can say like, "I need to beat you" because you're like.
And then I think I was talking to you about this. What you need something to like legitimize Kenny Omega's reign after what Okada did. So I think giving him the G1 win would be a good way of doing that.
It's not a bad idea. Honestly, I can see anything happening right now. I think I saw
any of the top 5 people.
I think I saw this on Reddit. It's like the paradox of Gedo booking. It's completely unexpected, but it makes complete sense.
Oh yeah,
so I have no idea. I have no idea how I'd be able to predict that. But we only got a few shows left of the G1, so it's going to be fun to watch it all unfold.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
All right. So enough dilly dallying. Let's get into this show.
Yay! Undercard tags.
新日本プロレスが戦いの大海原を突き進む戦国演武絆プレゼンツザ・ニュービーニング・イン・札幌
February 5th, 2017, from the Hokkaido Prefecture Sports Center. It's the new beginning in Sapporo. Attendance tonight is 5,545. On English commentary tonight, we have Kevin Kelly, and making his debut on commentary for New Japan is Don Callis, back in the business after all those years.
I love Don Callis.
Yeah. They were actually better on the show than I remember them being. I remember when they first started, I remember them being kind of like decent commentators, but they didn't have chemistry at first, which is what you'd expect. But they were actually much better than I thought they were going to be. I guess they would have worked together back in the 90s in WWF. Don Callis was there as the Jackal, something like that. Part of, what was it? What was the name of that group? I can't remember.
I just remember the Jackal, that's all.
Yeah. I'm blanking on the name. Truth Commission, that's it. Yeah, so maybe they had a little bit of interaction and had a bit more chemistry than I thought they did, because they were better than I remember. So without further ado, let's get into our first match.
Yay.
Up first is Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado taking on Hirai Kawato and Kushida. So Kanemaru is part of Suzuki-gun, just returned from Noah. He's actually the former Noah Junior Ace. He's like the Kushida of Noah. He's a 7-time GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion and 4-time Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. He's toned down his style a bit in recent years, in the words of Dino Winwood, to become a full-blown asshole in Suzuki-gun. Well, another New Legacy Inc. reference.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not, because you don't. There's like two things that that are wrestling related that I can't get you into. One of them is New Legacy Inc. I guess.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. El Desperado, real name Kyosuke Mikami. He trained through the New Japan Dojo.
Did you just unmask El Desperado?
It's on Wikipedia.
In
dude.
3 seconds on the first. Come on, man.
It's on Wikipedia. I don't think it's unmasking if you put it on Wikipedia.
You don't.
Kyosuke Mikami. He's New Japan, trained in the dojo. He wrestled as a young lion under his name, Kyosuke Mikami. And he suffered a kayfabe injury, which kind of explained his absence that he took for excursion. He went to CMLL and wrestled under a mask as Namahage. I think that's how you say it. Namahage? Something like that. Inspired by a Japanese folk demon, Namahage. And that's kind of a common theme, apparently, when Japanese wrestlers go on excursion to CMLL. They'll be given gimmicks or characters that kind of play off of Japanese folklore. I think that's what happened to Yoshihashi. This is just something I read on Reddit, so don't quote me on it, but apparently he was based off the same lore figure that Goku, that's it, is based off of,
yeah.
I think. And he just never changed gimmicks when he came back. So that's why he dresses like that. So yeah, El Desperado joined Suzuki-gun back in 2014 when he returned, and he just kind of left with them when they went to Noah, and now he's back too. Interesting that Kanemaru comes out with a dub theme, which is weird. It's a part of the trend, I guess, with dub themes that I talked about in the last episode. Just everyone has a dub, and all those songs are going to get cleared up in the next couple of months, I guess, because I haven't heard a dub since for this guy, for Kanemaru, or any of those guys. I thought it was kind of cute. There was a baby dressed up as Kushida. He's adorable.
Yeah.
He was so
mini baby Kushida.
He was so cute.
Or is it Mini Marty McFly? I don't know.
I thought there was a nice moment right before the match where Kushida stares down Kanemaru, and it's sort of like a battle of the Noah Junior Ace versus New Japan's Junior Ace.
Good
it's
stuff.
Like nice moment there. So we start off with Kawato wants in first, and he does get to start first, and of course he gets destroyed because he is a young lion. And of course he's going against Suzuki-gun. It's the worst, just the worst idea for Kawato, to do right now is to start off with Suzuki-gun. Kanemaru puts him in the camel clutch, he breaks his back and makes him humble, and Kawato hits a drop kick for a hot tag, and Kushida runs wild. O'Connor roll on Kanemaru with a German and bridge on Despy for 2. That looked really cool.
That was the best spot in the match. It was awesome.
Yeah, so he does the O'Connor roll while giving Desperado the German suplex and then falls into the pin on it.
Oh, it's great.
It looked really cool. Kushida's so great. It's a shame that he doesn't have much of a character going on right now, because I think he's one of the most overlooked guys in wrestling. It's like him and Dragon Lee and a couple other guys who are
Goto,
so
maybe.
great. Yeah, maybe Goto. Yeah, they're like so great. They have top level skill and have great matches, but just because they don't really have much of a name value, they kind of get overlooked. It's a shame because he's really good. Kanemaru uses the ref to distract Kushida, and he makes a tag. Kushida handspring elbow, and then tags out to Kawato, who rallies. He kind of has an ugly springboard dropkick in his hot tag, but he's a young lion, so it's understandable. Puts the Boston Crab on Desperado, young lion finish. I always love a young lion finish.
I love the young lion Boston Crab.
Yeah.
It's such a great, like, easy way to teach selling. Like, I love it. So.
Yeah. Desperado counters and fights back, hits a spinebuster for a 2, and then right into a single leg Boston Crab. There's a bit of a struggle for a while, and then Kawato finally gets the break. Kawato gets his Paul Smackage special for a 2, Schoolboy for a 2, backslide for a 2, Desperado hits a spear for a 2, and then a spinning gut wrench bomb. I'm sure it has a name, I don't know it. It's like a spinning gut wrench power bomb for the win.
I was like an abdominal stretch into like a Michinoku driver, but you know, it was a nice move.
Yeah, it has a name. I've seen him do it before, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But yeah, he gets the win with that move, and Kanemaru and Desperado do a post-match beatdown afterwards because they're Suzuki-gun. So, what did you think of this, Justin?
I thought it was an undercard tag match with some good young lion running wild. It's always one of my favorite things to watch. And Suzuki gonna get a win, so that's a good start to the show, but it doesn't really go there from here. But anyway.
Well, I mean, for something that's coming a bit later, they needed to get this win. So
they needed at least one win.
Well, this one they needed specifically. We'll talk about it later when it happens. But yeah, they pick up the win. Yeah, I thought it was okay. The young lion hot tag or young lion fire. That's always really great. Kawato's really good at it. He was one of the most highly touted young lions because he was so great at that. Aside from that ugly springboard dropkick, I thought he did really well in this match. But like you kind of said, it's an undercard tag. You know, not much happening here. It's kind of a theme with New Japan. These undercard tags are not a lot going on, but some decent action
and still fun for the most part. So still can find some fun in it.
Yeah, and I'm a big Desperado fan, so nice to see him. I
never buy into Desperado.
He has some really good matches in the Best of the Super Juniors in 2018, so we won't be seeing it while we cover this year, but. Yeah, Despy's kind of grown on me, and yeah, it's good to see him. So after this match, commentary mentions that Suzuki put a knee bar on Okada at the press conference. So setting up already before the match even comes up that Okada's knee's damaged, and that's what Suzuki's going to be going after. And I think it's a good thing to just catch people up on if they didn't actually see the press conference. So thank you, Don Callis and Kevin
Kelly.
People like
us.
Yeah. Up next is a 6-man tag, Yoshitatsu.
Yeah!
And Hinare and Oka, both young lions.
Yoshitatsu, so high on the totem pole, gets 2 young lions to tag with. I love it.
Yeah, so it's Yoshitatsu, Hinare, and Tomoiki Oka against Hiroshi Tenzan, Satoshi Kojima, and Yuji Nagata.
The legends. The legends 6-man.
Yeah, the third generation, yeah. Alright. So actually, first note I have here is Yoshitatsu's theme is pretty good. Like I hadn't really heard it before, but I actually really liked it. It was a pretty good theme. And he H-spits in his entrance. Just, I don't know why. Does he have some sort of beef with Triple H? Because Triple H spits in his entrance for no reason. It's just weird. Yeah, it's one of those things like there's a certain level of people who can do that sort of thing and have it be cool, but when it's someone like Yoshitatsu...
Oh, we'll get to spitting water.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
Yeah. But when it's someone like Yoshitatsu, who is not really anyone special to like try to pick on
How dare you?
Okay, yeah. who's not very high on the totem pole, to try to pick on someone who's much higher on the totem pole than him, it just makes him look like a geek. I was not a fan of it, but whatever.
It just adds to his boyness. That's all.
So Tatsu's theme jump starts at the bell, and they rally, and Kojima gets a triple stacked machine gun chops in the corner. So he stacks up one guy, does the machine gun chops, throws him out, does the other guy, throws him out, then hits the third guy. And then he hits the elbow smash and then the elbow drop. Tags to Nagata, and they beat down on Hinari. Then Tenzan comes in, and he hits his mulligan chops. And it's really cool to actually hear the crowd doing the thing as Tenzan makes that noise while he goes for his chop. It does get annoying after a while, though, and especially when the crowd starts doing it and he's not gonna mulligan chop. They start doing the whoosh, and he never actually chops. It starts to get a little annoying, but it's a cool sound, I guess. There's a missed headbutt, and that allows Tatsu to get in with a tag. Literally no reaction for the Yoshitatsu hot tag.
I gave the biggest reaction ever. I was like, "Yeah, go Yoshi!"
It was amazing. You could literally pin drop.
Yeah,
it was so dead for the Yoshitatsu hot tag for the biggest star on his half of the team. Nothing.
And tags in Yoshitatsu.
Oh my god.
Tatsu runs wild, question mark. That's what I have.
Yeah. So yeah, Yoshi rallies. It's a spinning wheel kick for a 2. Tenzan hits a backdrop, though, to cut him off. Tag to Nagata. There's a forearm exchange that ends with a Tatsu kick, and he tags out to Oka. Forearms from Oka, and he gets slapped by Nagata for his trouble. Shoulder block knocks down Nagata. Belly to belly from Oka for a 2. And he puts on the Boston Crab, another Boston Crab. Nice. Winner. But it's broken up. And then there's the classic clusterfuck, where everyone's just in there fighting, trying to throw each other out. Nagata gets on the Nagata Lock 2, which is a crossface. And Oka fights, but Nagata switches sides to his other arm so he can stop him from getting a rope break. And Oka taps, so Tenkoji and Nagata get the win here. What'd you think of this?
I loved it because Yoshitatsu with Young Lions, so that's my opinion on there. As for the other team, it's hard for me to get behind the sort of Japanese Legends teams, or just Japanese Legends in general.
Because you don't have any
Because I don't have any knowledge. Like, I'm sure there are,
and the nostalgia that's associated with years of watching it, you just don't have that. So
yeah, so it's hard to get into them, but I can get into Yoshi any day. So, I mean, it was fine. It was a good, easy way to kind of get some good funness out of the opening undercard tag matches, so it did its job.
It was okay. I think I liked the first one a bit better. I had sort of the perverse entertainment in like Yoshitatsu's no reaction when he gets tagged in, and Kojima and Nagata are good. Oka's pretty good as a young lion. Hinare is, whatever. I'm even now that he's graduated, he's got his gimmick sucks. The wild man islander, he's got kind of boring offense, and as a young lion I can't really blame him for having boring offense because they only let you do so much. But even now that he's not a young lion and he can do more, he doesn't really do that much more. So Oka I think has a bit better fire, but Kawato's like miles ahead of both these guys in terms of his in-ring fire. Yeah, it was okay. Undercard tag match. I preferred the opener a little bit more, but we won't be seeing much of Yoshitatsu anymore, unfortunately. I think
I'm glad I got
you got
some
to see him.
I got some.
Yeah,
I got some. That's all I need.
Up next, we have another 6-man tag. It's Ospreay, Jado, and Gedo against Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, and Katsuyori Shibata. So what's going on with this match? Shibata is the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion, and Ospreay is the Rev Pro British Cruiserweight Champion. And they have a match for Shibata's Heavyweight title at the New Beginning in Osaka on the next show. So we have an undercard tag match to build to that. And Jado, Gato, Tiger, and Liger are just sort of like tagging along for the ride. So Ospreay comes out to his old theme, which is nice to hear. I like his new theme too, but it's just, I guess, a bit of nostalgia almost from a year and a half ago.
Yeah, a year and a half.
You get to hear his old theme, which is awesome. And he has the British Cruiserweight title with him. It's nice that you can actually, with these partnerships that New Japan has with, you know, Ring of Honor and CMLL and Rev Pro, you can actually bring other companies' titles and have them appear on your show. That I just think it looks cooler and makes it kind of feel more international.
Yeah,
I guess.
international and dynamic.
Yeah, a bigger wrestling world when you have these other titles on the show. It's just cool. Nice seeing the title. And female cheers for Shibata, who has the British heavyweight title, which I just think is interesting. Shibata's not the first guy you think of when, like, this is why the female fans are here, but yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah. It was. I think I have that down just because it was an oddly big female cheer pop.
No.
So, but yeah. So we start off with Ospreay and Shibata, and they grapple to a standoff, and then they tag out to Liger and Jado on either side. So they do big man shoulder blocks. The two junior heavyweights do like the big man shoulder block standoff, which is pretty funny. And so they block and then they pose, and then there's an immediate clusterfuck where everyone's just in.
It was quick.
Yeah, Gato tags in. He does some chops into the corner. Jado's in. Ospreay in. Lots of quick tags. Not a lot, just little bits of offense and quick tags, which you didn't really have in the last two matches. So yeah, it's fine. Do the quick tags in and out. Isolate somebody. There's a double backdrop that's countered into a double DDT that looked pretty cool. Tag into Tiger Mask, who runs wild for a little bit. Hits the Tiger Driver for a 2. Gato rallies and hits his super kick and tags out to Ospreay. And he immediately runs in and kicks Shibata off the apron. It's like, what are you doing, Will? Do you want to die? But I like that. Like, that babyface fire. Like, I don't care if this guy's the baddest SOB on the planet. I'm going to run over there and kick him in the face because I want to. So, yeah, I like that. Ospreay runs wild, hits his phenomenal forearm for a 2, which he calls, I believe, Pip Pip Cheerio, because British.
Yeah.
Shibata breaks it up. Ospreay drives him off and hits his Daredevil kick and the Os Cutter for the win in a quick 6-man tag match. So Ospreay, Jado, and Gato take it in this one. After the match, Shibata quickly attacks Ospreay, and Ospreay fights him off and hits an Os Cutter on him to put the idea that, hey, this junior heavyweight might actually beat this heavyweight at the next show for the title. Yeah, so Ospreay stands tall on what is, I guess, the go-home show for this feud. What did you think of this match?
Another functional undercard tag.
Yeah.
I have exactly 4 notes for this match. One of which is Ospreay spots into Os Cutter win. So I did not care that much, but again, it was functional. It did what it needs to do. So
yeah, that's one of the problems I think we'll have with trying to do a New Japan, like, OSW style podcast. There's not a lot to say about half of the shows, because these undercard tag matches they're pretty good, but there's not a lot going on, and they usually just build to other matches. Like, Ospreay and Shibata's stuff in this match was pretty good. Ospreay being, like I was talking about, the big, like, even though he's small and, at a clear disadvantage against Shibata, he's still going to stand up to him and kick him in the face and hit him with an Os Cutter after the match. That's good. And Ospreay, I will always enjoy watching an Ospreay match. He's so much fun to watch. But yeah, it's a tag match with Jado, Gato, Liger, and Tiger, who are both several years past their prime and just kind of going off of their name value. Although Liger is still great at what he does. He's he can't do his, like, shooting star and all that stuff. But Liger's still great. But yeah, not a ton going on here, but like you said, functional I think is a good word for it, and decent for what it is. But there's not much to say about this match. So yeah. Up next, we have Takashi Iizuka taking on Yoshihashi in a who gives a fuck match.
In a long, drawn-out sigh match. First note for this match, like, as soon as I saw the graphic pop up, I just typed in, could not care less about this. Why am I watching?
It's a shame, because, like, as we're seeing with this year's G1, Yoshihashi is a good wrestler. He has good matches. As Damon from the Super J Cast likes to say, when he gets that tap on the shoulder, he can go. He can have good matches with just about anyone, but his character is boring. I don't know what it is exactly. What is the headhunter? I don't know what that means. And Iizuka is just
I don't get Izuka's gimmick. I get his less. Like, he's like on a leash. He's it doesn't make...
I think he's just like an insane monster kind of thing.
But I don't even buy him as like a monster of any... Like, he doesn't do anything. Like, he just cheats. He doesn't do anything that's like monster needs to be reeled in. He just
he
bites.
He bites. He uses weapons.
That's all he did in this match. I don't even want to go over the match spot by spot. All he did was just bite, cheat, do stuff behind the ref's back. And it was boring, and I didn't like it.
Well, I think we will go over this spot.
No!
Here's some reassurance for you. The last match that I had notes on for was, it looks like about 10 to 12 lines of notes. This one has 6.
Okay,
so it will be quick.
Oh no, I peeked the mic too. I saw it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We apologize to our listeners for that. I will say one good thing about Iizuka is that his entrance through the crowd, where another member of Suzuki Gun has to like literally hold a leash and as he's like rampaging through the crowd, that's a cool visual. I'll give him that, but that's about all the positives I can say about Iizuka. So Yoshihashi jump starts with a baseball slide while Iizuka's on the outside, so we get started right away. Iizuka with a chair shot and some brawling in the crowd. This is the one note I have on this match that was like, yes, I love this. They're doing the classic count out, tease the count out, 19 count, and right at 19, Yoshihashi slides back into the ring and planks. As he slides into the ring, he planks and just lays there for a few seconds. That was amazing. I marked out at that.
I didn't even see that. Jeez, wow. That's
funny. It's all downhill from here. So there's some choking with the microphone cord and some stomps by Iizuka. Yoshi rallies with a spin kick and the running blockbuster, which is apparently called the Headhunter. I just found that out looking up.
That was the one spot of this match I liked. You want to know why? Because it reminded me of Oni Lorcan.
Lorcan.
It was an Oni Lorcan running neck breaker, and it made me happy. Yeah. But not for Yoshihashi.
Yeah. Not sure who did it first, but yes, it did. It was an Oni Lorcan move. Yes. It's the draping drop kick. Like, even Yoshihashi's like signature moves are generic. And it's like it's a shame because he has the suplex neck breaker. He has the running blockbuster, which is kind of cool, but it's still just a neck breaker. He has a drop kick to the ass of an opponent who's draped over the rope. He does all these things a little bit different than how everybody else does, but at the end of the day, they're still just generic moves. It's such a shame because I think he's a better wrestler than his moveset would imply.
I'm not even going to give him anything. I was going to try to put him over, but then I was like... No.
Is because one wrestling move of this match, the atomic drop.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
And more rope, and he gets a rope choke pin, but the ref sees him choking with the rope and the pin and breaks up the pin.
I think the commentators completely bury Tiger Hattori on that spot. They're just like, he should have seen that.
It's a thing, at least with Don Callis and Tiger Hattori. He just makes fun of him because he's like, he's too old. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He lost control of, like, the joke is always when he's like in a big multi-man match. It's like, you put Tiger Hattori in this match, you can't even keep track of one person, and you're asking him to keep track of 6, 8, 10.
Like, there were just some really bad ref distractions. Like, Tiger didn't even try. It was just, anyway. Yeah. Regardless.
Western Lariat from Yoshihashi, the loose explosion swanton bomb, but Iizuka gets his knees up, which sort of defeats the whole, like, insane, no-brain, wild man thing when he's smart enough to put his knees up to block a move, but I don't know. I guess it's an easy counter, so it's not that bad, but still, you'd expect this guy to have no strategy at all in his moves. He tries to go for the Iron Fingers from Hell, which is just this, like, iron glove that Iizuka puts on and tries to hit people in the throat. But it's countered, and Yoshihashi gets karma for the win, and...
I do like Yoshihashi's finish, though. Yeah. That's one thing I like.
Yeah, and a guy in the crowd yawns on the first shot they cut away.
Really?
You can see a guy yawn. Nice.
Alright, I said my piece. Alright, let's
move on. Just nothing.
The thing I dislike about this the most is that Yoshihashi wins, Suzuki-gun doesn't seem to win very much.
What, are you going to put Izuka over? I mean, the dude was like 51 years old at this time. It's just like, what are you going to do with it? You going to make him a tag champ or something?
I think Suzuki-gun should have done
honestly,
better than they did.
I think this match was just put together to get all of Suzuki-gun on the show and to give Yoshihashi a win. That they like to do that every now and then. We'll give them a mini push. Like, here's something for... Like, we don't have anything for you long term. You're not going to be a champion anytime soon, but here's a little something for you. So, and I don't mind Suzuki-gun losing occasionally, just because... seems to be like a thing with New Beginning. They did this past year in 2018 with LIJ versus Chaos, where everyone in that group is feuding with someone else in the other group, and they traded wins on that show too. So it's it's
they
fine.
Don't trade wins on this show. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they got a couple.
Chaos wins.
They do get most of the wins.
Like
yes.
every win.
Yes.
Like every single one. And it just bothers me. Like even a worthless match like this, they don't give Suzuki-gun the win. But
well,
anyway,
I think it was a better decision to put the 34, 35-year-old over the 50-year-old.
That's true. I didn't know how old Izuka was. I couldn't care to figure it out.
I don't blame you. So, I can't really blame him for that decision, but I see what you're saying about maybe give Suzuki-gun a couple more wins.
I've had enough with this match. Let's move on.
Yeah,
please.
we've talked about this far longer than we need to. Let's move on.
Oh, hear this, all the original youngsters. Here comes a master of dropkick. Am I gonna blow your mind like a buzz, yeah? So get ready now, you never know what am I gonna do. You're gonna witness the strength of the men of the destiny, right? So no more steps, put off your fire! Let's get united.
Up next, we have a 10-man tag match. It's Taguchi Japan versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, Dragon Lee, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Ryusuke Taguchi, Manabu Nakanishi, and Michael Elgin versus Tetsuya Naito, Evil, Bushi, Sanada, and Hiromu Takahashi. So what's this match about? It's a 10-man tag that will get everyone on the show. The contenders get to feud with the champions that they're about to challenge for, and the fans get to see the big stars who didn't have big matches on this show right before intermission.
And the entrances were so long.
They were very long, yes.
Like 3 or 4 people got solo entrances, and then it's just I think like with the previous match and then these long entrances, I was just like, all right, I need a break.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
I guess they wanted to get all their contenders an entrance.
I get it, but it was just
but
too long.
It was long, and LIJ's entrance is already long enough already because they all come out individually.
Although I did like Taguchi's Evil cosplay.
Yes, I was going to make that. Taguchi cosplaying Evil was kind of funny.
As well as Bushi wearing 2 masks.
I think, spoiler, they do that on the next show where they all come out dressed in either other members of LIJ or they all come dressed out as Evil or something. I think it's hilarious because it's so cheap, but if you actually look at what Evil has, it's not that much better than what Taguchi's wearing.
That's kind of true, actually.
So, yeah, I think that's funny. Alright, so we start this off with Dragon Lee and Hiromu, and they start off fast. It's always nice to see Dragon Lee and Hiromu go at it. They're always very good. It might be a little less good considering what just happened recently in 2018 and the whole...
I mean, they've had so many insane matches in the past. Like, it was I'm sure this was just a freak thing. Yeah, and
just a little bit of news on the Hiromu neck injury thing here in 2018. Some good news for people if you hadn't heard it. Apparently, we now have a time frame for when Hiromu could be back. It seems to be about 9 to 12 months, and there's no nerve damage suffered from that Phoenix Plex. So that's... I mean, it's not good that he's going to be out a year, but it's good that it wasn't a serious long-term injury, and he has a very good chance at getting back in the ring. So, yeah, some positive news on a sad situation. So anyway, back to the match. So after they start off fast, Dragon Lee tags out to Elgin, and Hiromu tags out to Naito. They like doing this at New Japan shows, where they have the champion and challenger square off in tag matches. They don't tease you like, oh, we're gonna wrestle, and then I'll just tag out without wrestling. You gotta wait to the show to see us wrestle. They don't do that very often. They usually give you a little something, a little taster.
Which I think is good.
Yeah, before they do their big match. So they do the fake lockup that Naito does, and his roll and Tranquilo pose. And when they do that, Bushi ambushes Elgin, but Elgin clears house because he's a big boy. Tags Taguchi in, and he runs wild with hip attacks. Tana comes in, also does a hip attack. Nakanishi comes in, he does a hip attack. Elgin in, he does a hip attack.
Taguchi,
so
the leader, the coach, teaching everyone those hip attacks.
Yeah, Taguchi Japan just starting up at this time. I think they just made reference to it on commentary at the beginning of this match. They're not official yet. They don't have the wacky sunglasses and all that coming out with them yet, but they are starting to form that group. Taguchi's back in. He makes Naito run the ropes. Like, he just keeps, like...
I love that.
Yeah.
Naito runs the ropes for forever, and then he starts selling how long he had to run the ropes by slowing down. It was awesome. I loved it.
That was great, yeah. Taguchi's a pretty good wrestler when he wants to be, but I still enjoy most of his comedy stuff. And in this match, it was very good. Like, Tanahashi and, like, the big scary fucker Nakanishi doing a hip attack. It's like, yeah, that's pretty good. And after Naito runs the ropes, Lee dives to the outside, and it becomes sort of a clusterfuck again. There's a combo sunset flip and drop kick. Evil tags in, and immediately hits a big boy.
Yeah!
Big boy senton. Taguchi goes for a springboard hip attack and hits it. Elgin comes in, and it's a splash over the ropes that looks pretty cool. Like, he pulls up on the ropes and, like, flies over and does a splash. And it looks pretty nice. And he's a big boy, so it looks like it hurts. And then he cleans house. He does his Samoan drop and fall-away slam combo on two members of LIJ, which
looks good.
He is a strong fucker. And German suplexes for everyone.
I just have German party written.
Yeah. Tana comes in, and they triple team. Trade strikes between Tana and his opponent. I did not write down whose opponent was at this time. I think... Is it still Naito? I don't know. Evil's in right now.
They're brawling.
That's the thing about these 10-mans. You can never keep track of anything, because there's so much going on. And then after they trade strikes, Tana hits the twist and shout. Evil comes back with a lariat, and Hiromu and Dragon Lee tag in on either side. Lee with a German and a big knee strike. Hiromu with the super kick and the belly-to-belly to the buckle, which always looks nasty. It almost kills people every time. Bushi comes in, and they triple team Dragon Lee. More cluster. Elgin bomb on Naito to the floor. I think they caught him, thankfully. Like, he power bombed him to the floor, and they caught him, so just safe. Reading it back makes it look much worse than it actually was. And Tana dives to the floor, and then Lee hits a suplex powerbomb on Bushi for the win. I think he has a name for that too, but I don't remember. It's like he cradles him under his arm and then like throws him up into a powerbomb.
It's a suplex into a powerbomb.
Basically,
it was good looking.
But yeah, Dragon Lee gets the win right before his big match with Hiromu. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was the best undercard tag. It was just the most fun. LIJ, always a blast. Mm-hmm. Full of probably the most charismatic group of people, and then there's Evil and Sonata.
I like both.
I mean, I like them too, but they're not as charismatic as Naito or...
Evil is a big boy. He's my favorite.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was fun. Lots of stuff happening. Bushi takes the pin, of course.
Well, yeah, he's the LIJ fall guy.
But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I don't know, it was just a really fun undercard tag. Getting those champion and challengers facing off. Everyone in the match is over for the most part, so it was good.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun too. It's still an undercard tag, so it has its ceiling. Like, we're not doing star ratings here, but if we're doing star ratings, there's no way a match like this gets to 4 because there's too many moving parts to really develop any special story in a match like this. But it's some fun.
And you've got the built-in story of the champion and challengers, Hiromu and Dragon Lee.
I like that they always, whenever they're in a tag match, it seems like they always start off against each other, and they always start hot.
Yeah,
there'll be matches in the future that they have against each other, and they'll just immediately start by chopping each other in the chest for 2 minutes straight.
Yeah,
I love seeing these guys together. Some fun in this match. A lot of good workers in this, and Nakanishi. Yeah.
Poor Nakanishi.
Yeah. I don't blame him so much. He's also around 50. But yeah, lots of fun. Some shenanigans that were entertaining, like Taguchi's running the rope spot, everyone doing hip attacks.
That was entertaining. That was a great spot. I love that.
Yeah, so a good way to go into intermission and get people ready for the next half of the show.
The big matches.
The big matches. so our next match is for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. It's the champions, Roppongi Vice, Beretta, and Rocky Romero, taking on my boy, Taka Michinoku, and our Lord and Savior, Taichi.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So Taichi started wrestling in 2002.
Wait. We're giving Taichi backstory?
I'm giving all the new characters that we haven't seen before a bit of backstory.
Even Taichi.
Especially
the
Taichi.
Most deserving. All right.
Especially Taichi.
All right, fine.
Taichi started in 2002 with All Japan Pro Wrestling. He did some freelancing from 2005 to 2010. He even appeared in TNA as part of Team Japan in the World X Cup in 2004. He had a short stint in CMLL and returned to New Japan in late 2010 and joined Kojima-gun, which would later become Suzuki-gun. And he kind of would just follow along Suzuki-gun with the rest of their adventures, sticking with New Japan, eventually going to Noah, and now he's back too with the rest of them. Taka Michinoku is kind of the same guy that you saw in Kai and Tai in the Attitude Era. He's loud and foul-mouthed, and he and Taichi are actually pretty good friends, and they work well together. They actually put on independent shows together. Yeah. In 2018, they ran Taka Taichi Mania at Korakuen Hall. The main event was Taichi taking on Naito. So, yeah.
Interesting.
That's why they're always tagging together, because they just go well together, I guess. Miho Abe is here. Yay. She flirts with the ref as soon as they come out, and then tries to flirt with Roppongi Vice. But both kind of turn her away. They see through it. Like, get out of here. We're not falling for that.
It was a good use. It was good use.
Yeah. Always nice to hear Roppongi Vice's theme.
Oh, I actually kind of wish that Rocky did the lip syncing gimmick like Taichi, like kind of like Evil and Taguchi in the last match. I was kind of hoping for that. It would have been funny.
Yeah, he already does. Like he sings it while walking out, but he doesn't have like the fake microphone or anything.
He wasn't singing it this time, so I was really hoping he just came out with the fake microphone, completely mocking Taichi.
He did that at Wrestle. Oh yeah, like to mock Taichi. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
But he did do the singing at Wrestle Kingdom. I remember.
Needs more mocking of Taichi.
Yeah. Nobody mocks our Lord and Savior Taichi and gets away with it, though.
Well, we'll see. I think I'm going to get away with it.
So Miho distracts the ref, and then all of Suzuki-gun ambush. Kanemaru and Desperado had come down to ringside with them. So while Miho's distracting the ref, they all just beat up on Roppongi Vice. Rocky and
I mean, it's a hard word. I understand. I
was trying to say Rocky and Barretto at the same time.
Barretto?
Barretto, yes.
Nice. I want a bean Barretto. Here we go.
Rocky and Beretta do double suicide dives, and Taichi low bridges Beretta when they get back in the ring to get the heat. And there's more ref distractions and Suzuki-gun interference. That's kind of a calling card for Suzuki-gun. Taichi steals the ring bell hammer and hides it in his pants. He does that in most of his matches where he'll take the hammer.
Yep.
There's more distractions, and Taichi uses the hammer, but not like the actual head of the hammer. He'll hit him with the base of it, and then try to do the dig in the face with the bottom of it.
At least you could do the Triple H well, it's too small. It's too small.
It's too small to muzzle it.
You can't muzzle. You could just get a rubber mallet and just boing, come on.
But that's the actual shoot ring bell hammer. It has to be made of wood.
But he just dunks. It's silly.
The crowd, I've noticed, has kind of been quiet all night, and they're still kind of quiet in this match. Yeah, I don't know if Sapporo is just a bad city sometimes or what, but the show hasn't been all that much, so I can't really blame them too much. But yeah, kind of quiet for this tag team title match. So while the ref is distracted, Taichi covers one of the guys, and Taka does a fast 3 count, and then they celebrate like they've won the titles, which I thought was funny and very heelish. To you're winning, you have the chance to actually win the match and do more damage, but you're gonna celebrate and showboat while you have the advantage. That's very, very old school heel. Beretta does the HBK buckle flip thing and comes back down, hits a lariat immediately after that. But Despy pulls Rocky off the apron to cut off the hot tag. Just classic old school heel stuff.
I don't know.
It's Desperado who's not in the match.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if we're at this point yet, but Kevin Kelly at one point tries his best to not say the word hot tag. He's like, oh, he's got to go look for the tag. He was he's hilarious.
Which is weird because he's always talking about I think he was doing it at this time too, the Ricky to Robert anyway, the Ricky Morton to Robert Gibson classic hot tag. So it's not really a shoot comment to say Ricky to Robert, but it's still kind of implying the hot tag thing. So it's why do you have such... And New Japan doesn't care what you say. They don't listen to the English commentary. So, yeah, why do you have such problems saying hot tag?
I don't know.
And I think with certain wrestling terms, you can get away with them being both kayfabe and shoot.
Yeah.
Like, hot tag, like,
Yeah.
that could be a kayfabe comment. Like, a guy's getting beaten down, so he makes the tag to a guy who hasn't been damaged at all in the match. So
And he's fired up, you know.
Yeah, why's that? Yeah, he's fired up because he's just had to watch his partner get beat down for several minutes. Yeah, and it's one of those things I think can work both ways. So, I don't know why he has trouble saying it. But back to the ring, Beretta hits a tornado DDT, and then finally gets the hot tag to Rocky, who runs wild. The forever clotheslines. And he tries the sliced bread, but it's countered, and Taichi hits a TNA kick, which is like the spinning soul kick to the midsection. I don't know why it's called the TNA kick, but New Legacy calls it that. So, or the impact kick, the GFW kick.
I don't know.
A springboard kick from Rocky. Taichi gets a head kick in response for a 2 count. And the best spot of the match, Taichi rips off his pants to reveal his tiny little trunks. But he misses the super kick he tries after that. Rocky hits a standing sliced bread. Beretta gets tagged in. Double team, springboard drop kick, and knee for a 2 count. The strong 0, but Miho's in the ring distracting the ref. Taichi throws Beretta into a chair that is being held up on the outside. And Taichi uses the Gato clutch, but only gets a 2 count. Taka tags in.
I think that's the first time he tagged in. Taichi was in this match for frickin' forever, I think.
He was, yeah.
And then as soon as Taka comes in, he immediately outshines Taichi and makes the match a million times better.
And then Taka comes in when he fakes the Michinoku driver and just hits an eye poke instead. But then there's a knee strike for a 2. Taka with an Asai moonsault to the floor, which is actually really impressive for a guy of his age to do an Asai moonsault to the floor. That's pretty good. There's a knee strike and super kick on Beretta for a 2 count. And then they try a double team move where Taichi tries the power bomb and Taka does a springboard spin kick, but he doesn't get nearly enough height on it and just destroys Taichi right in the back.
I have very detailed notes about this match. So it starts off terribly because Taichi is out of position and Taka's like, move, you're in the wrong position. And then so Taichi's got him up in the powerbomb. He moves into the right position, and then Taka does a springboard leg lariat, completely missing Beretta and nailing Taichi in the back of the back of the head. But Beretta still falls down in cell, and then you can hear Taka say "shit, sorry," and then covers him.
Yeah,
it was a hilarious.
Beretta had a bad landing on that
not
too.
Great spot.
Are 3 seconds away from claiming the crown.
Okay.
Shame.
Kind of a shame.
I feel like that's a bit much to ask for those two. Like Taichi, I guess, can do a power bomb, but Taka, I think it was 43 at this point. You're asking him to do a springboard spin kick and hit a guy who's in the air. And
yeah, it was.
While the guy who's supposed to be helping you with the move can't see a thing because he's got a face full of Beretta dick.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't know how they expected this spot to. Maybe they do this regularly and it usually goes well. I don't know, but I can't see how this spot would have gone well.
I like the attempt because I think it would have looked cool, but
it would have. But yeah.
Regardless.
And immediately after the kick out, Taka puts on the crossface, and Taichi kicks Beretta while he's in the crossface, and then they cover him for a 2. Beretta hits the dude buster, but he's slow to cover because he's taken so much damage, so he kicks out at 2. More distractions, but Beretta gets a hold of a chair and fights off the interferers, Kanemaru and Desperado. There's the double jumping knee strike from Roppongi Vice, the classic Rocky Romero tag team move. Rocky dives onto everyone on the outside, and then a strong 0 for the win. And just after the match, there's a post-match beatdown by Kanemaru and Desperado, who challenge for the tag team titles, which goes back to the first match where they won clean, which is why they needed to win that match so they could challenge here. So what did you think of this match?
It was okay. There were a couple spots that weren't great. I wasn't a fan of Taichi staying in the match for as long as he did, considering he's not even close to as good of a worker as Taka is.
How dare you, our Lord and Savior Taichi.
But I thought it dragged down the match. Like, that was a note. I was like, Taka tags in, this is when it finally starts to get interesting. But for the most part, it was pretty good, aside from the one botch that I just found to be funny. Yeah, it was pretty, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought this
It
match
wasn't anything super spectacular.
Yeah, I thought this was okay. It wasn't nearly as good as the Young Bucks match from Wrestle Kingdom or the matches that they'll have with the Bucks later, but it was decent little tag match, and I thought the finish was very good. For the story that they were telling is that it was basically 4-on-2, maybe even 5-on-2 because Miho was there, and the finish came immediately after Rocky dove on everyone and took out all the interferers in one go. Cool. So and immediately after that they hit the strong 0-1. So I appreciate the story. And Taichi, he's definitely not what most people watch New Japan for. They watch it for the strong style and the great in-ring action, if I can speak. But I can get some enjoyment out of the interference and the cheating and the old school heel tactics. This match is definitely not for every New Japan fan. There'll be some people, that just hate what Taichi brings to this match, and I don't blame them.
I mean, fair play to New Japan themselves for, even though Taichi's not the greatest in-ring performer, he's got an awesome gimmick, so I mean, that helps.
And they make the best of what he can do. Yeah. I think. Because he's very good at being just a nasty, detestable heel. I think I've said this before to you. I'll give Taichi that. There's nothing that you can like about Taichi. Which is why some people like him, because he's such a great heel. But he doesn't have entertaining moves. His flashiest move is either the super kick or the power bomb. There's not that much there to sink your teeth into. His gimmick isn't one that really motivates people liking him. He's not a badass heel that you can appreciate his badassery. He's just an annoying heel that thinks he's a superstar when he's not. So there's nothing to like about him, which is why you can like him, because he's that good of a heel. But yeah, as for this match, it was okay. Good solid tag title match. Could have been better, but I can't complain that much about it. Up next, we have Juice Robinson versus Hiroki Goto for the Never Openweight title. As I mentioned last time at the very end of the episode, Juice pinned Goto in the tag match at New Beginning, so he's entitled to a title shot, which is why we're here now. So not much other than that to set up this match. Just Juice is the underdog babyface, and Goto is the immovable champion. So here we go. Immediate drop kick by Juice right out of the gate. As soon as the bell rings, he just runs and hits a drop kick.
I mean, that's fair. The wily upstart has to get some kind of early advantage. I think that's good.
He has to come out swinging because he's the underdog. And, if this match goes into a wrestling match, he's going to lose. So he comes out right away with a drop kick. And he gets a clothesline to the corner and a cannonball. And then a headbutt right after that, all for a 2 count, which is... I like that opening exchange, like we were just talking about. He comes out with everything. He hits one of his signature moves right off the bat to try to get a quick win. So Goto retreats to the outside, and Juice follows him out there. And he misses the cannonball on the barricade again, just like at Wrestle Kingdom.
Ouch.
Ow, that sucks. I don't know why he keeps doing that, because that must suck. To have to throw the small of your back right into a metal barricade. It looks great, but man, that has to suck. So Goto works the back for most of the match because he just slammed it into the barricade. It's a top rope elbow to the back for a 2, which is, good psychology there. He does that elbow drop occasionally, but he hits it to the back this time for a 2. And puts on a Boston Crab, which is doubly significant because it's working on the back, but also it's sort of a shot at Juice Robinson for trying to say that you're nothing more than a young lion. You'll see this a lot with wrestlers who just come back from excursion or have just graduated from the Young Lion system, where veteran wrestlers will put them in their Young Lion submissions to try to say, you're nothing more than this. I can beat you with just your shitty Young Lion hold. So that's the significance of that.
And Juice wasn't even a Young Lion, so it's even doubly bad.
He was in the dojo for a little bit. Oh. He never went on excursion. He just sort of graduated and sort of built up a following. So he's one of the rare cases where you could not go on excursion and still be successful. So he wears him down with that Boston Crab, but Juice fires back and lariats Goto over the top rope, and Juice hits a crossbody to the floor, an STO and Russian leg sweep combination back in the ring, and a big boy from Juice. How many big boy sentons do we have on this roster?
New Japan does a lot of big boys. That is true.
Yeah, lots of big boy sentons on this roster, which I appreciate. And then a splash for a 2 count. He counters the Ushigoroshi. And starts doing the juice punches.
I don't understand how those are over in a strong style environment. Somehow they're over. Doesn't really make sense.
The fake WWE punches.
Yeah, the almost Shane McMahon level punches are over in New Japan.
No, they're a little bit better.
They are better.
You haven't seen that video of him punching Randy Orton back in 2009 where he misses by 6 inches.
They're not that bad, but I'm not.
Yeah. So he finishes with a leg lariat and the gut check for a 2 count. Which is apparently in modern day now called the juice box, which
oh come on.
I don't know.
I like it.
For a signature move that's won matches before, to call the juice box,
has it really won matches?
Like the occasional tag match against maybe like a young lion, but I don't know. Juice box, whatever. It's a nice play on words, but whatever. Moving on. Juice has some great facial expressions. He's really selling the back. And he goes for the moonsault, kind of out of desperation. You start to see him kind of get desperate because his back's hurting and he's running out of moves. So he goes for one that he doesn't hit very often, but he misses the moonsault. But he manages to recover and hits his big left-handed punch. Juice goes back up to the top rope, but Goto meets him up there. Goto goes for the super Ushigoroshi, but Juice manages to slip out the back and uses that opening to hit a lie-down powerbomb for a 2 count. Goes for the pulp friction, but is countered into a German where he lands right on his head. German suplexes suck, man.
And then he just decides to no-sell. And
Juice fights up to his feet because he's got that babyface fighting spirit, and they do a lariat exchange. They just keep smacking each other with their forearms over and over again. And Juice actually wins the lariat battle with Goto for a 2 count. Goes for the pulp friction again, but it's again countered. Goto goes for the GTR, but that's countered. But Goto manages to hit a reverse GTR while Juice is hanging over the ropes for a 2 count. And then just a straight kick, just kick to the chest for another 2 count. Juice is really portrayed as that fighting babyface here who keeps kicking out of all these devastating moves. But Goto picks him back up and hits a regular GTR for the 3 count. Hiroki Goto retains the never openweight championship. What'd you think of this match?
I thought it was pretty good. It was the best singles match so far on the show.
What's its competition being Izuka and Yoshihashi?
Sorry. I think there wasn't that much heat for the finish. Like the GTR as a move, I think could be better. But as a match itself, I thought it was really quite good. But I think both of them probably could have done more. But save it, I guess. Still not the biggest match, but it was still a really good singles match for the Never title.
I think with the GTR, it all depends on the sell job. Like, there's this gif of Evil taking the GTR one time, and he's just, like, arching his back after it happens. He looks like he has his back broken. It looks so nasty. So it can look like a devastating move. I think the biggest problem with it right now is that it's new. I think he just developed it recently at this point.
Oh, okay.
So
I honestly like the reverse GTR better. I wish that was his finish in the...
Maybe. It's a pretty good move. Both of them are pretty good when done well. But I think it's just not over yet. But I think it will get over the longer the year goes. But I thought this was a pretty good match. Juice is definitely not to the level that he is now. He gets so much better over the next year. But this is still a pretty good match. Goto, like we mentioned earlier, can have good matches when he's asked to, and this is a pretty good one. Juice at this point is still kind of limited in what he can do. If you actually take a note at the moves he's actually doing, there's not a lot of variety there. Yeah. It's all a bit generic. But his best attribute is his babyface fire, his facial expressions, his ability to get sympathy and use that to get the crowd behind him.
I would say he's probably the New Japan version of the Velveteen Dream in terms of character in a company like that. Like, it's kind of got that vibe to it almost.
Yeah. Not in terms of like the actual content of their character.
No,
but
like
just their ability
they're very
to get
different
to get their character work over, and the wrestling. It's not bad, but it's secondary to the character and the psychology of it. Yeah, I can agree with that. So this was a good match. This is, I think, one of Juice's first opportunities to get a real big singles match and to show what he can do. So we get to see more of that in the future. So not bad. Good start for Juice Robinson. Our semi-main event tonight is for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. The Killer Elite Squad, Davey Boy Smith, and my boy, Lance Archer.
Many boys on this show.
So many boys.
So many.
Against Great Bash Heel, Togi Makabe, and Tomoaki Honma versus the champions, Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano. So what's this all about? It's Chaos versus Suzuki-gun, and GBH still wants their fair title shot that they didn't get at WrestleMania. So that's...
Kingdom?
Fucking hell.
That is a
Cut.
cardinal... No, that's staying
Cut.
in. No,
Cut.
stop.
Cut it.
That's staying in.
Cut it.
No, alright, whatever. Do it anymore. I don't care. I can't believe you made that card.
They want their fair title shot that they didn't get at Wrestle Kingdom.
Thank you. You better keep that in, I swear. Anyway.
So KES is getting its shot because it's Chaos versus Suzuki-gun, and GBH still wants their fair shot. Let's talk about KES a little bit.
You like them?
They're okay.
Oh, really?
I like half of them.
Okay, alright.
Lance Archer debuted in 2000 working the Texas independent scene before getting a job in TNA in 2004 as Lance Hoyt. He stayed there until 2009, and after a short stint in All Japan Pro Wrestling, signed a developmental deal in WWE in 2009. He moved quickly from FCW to ECW, now clean-shaven and with a short haircut, as Vance Archer. When ECW went off the air, he was shoved straight into Superstar Hell, and by that I literally mean Superstars.
Yeah.
And a team with Kurt Hawkins called the Gate Crashers. He was released in November of 2010. He went to New Japan and joined Suzuki-gun, who were facing Kojima-gun at the time. Suzuki-gun would later absorb Kojima-gun. And his story is pretty much the same as Suzuki-gun's from this point. Stuck around until 2015. Went to Noah for 2 years. Came back just recently after Wrestle Kingdom.
Maybe.
Davey Boy Smith began wrestling at the age of 8 in 1994 and made his official in-ring debut in 2002 in Stampede Wrestling.
It's not quite King Maxwell, but it's close.
it's about as close as you can get. He had a brief tour in Japan where he broke his hand. In 2006, he signed a WWE developmental deal and made a few main roster appearances in 2007 before getting sent back down. He re-debuted in 2009 as D.H. Smith, David Hart Smith, as part of the Hart Dynasty with Tyson Kidd and Natalya Neidhart, getting the tag belts twice in that time. They split up in 2011, and he had kind of a shitty feud with Tyson Kidd on Raw and Superstars, and was released later that year. In 2012, he went to New Japan and formed a team with Lance Archer, KES, and joined Suzuki-gun with that
Killer
as well.
Elite Squad. I don't know.
Killer Elite Squad.
I don't know if you ever actually said that or not.
I did say Killer Elite Squad.
Okay, well, I'm not paying attention to you, so whatever.
No, that's not irregular. Alright, so on to this match. Lance Archer spitting water is gross, but also awesome.
Is that what made you
become
the boy?
That's one of the reasons he's my boy, because it's such a disgusting thing to actually spit water onto people in the crowd who've paid to be at this show, and you spitting water on them. But it's a great heel move to do that.
And then it starts to get over.
Yeah. And my favorite part about that is that he comes out with a water bottle, he starts spitting it, and he empties the bottle, and reaches into his pocket and pulls out another water bottle, and does it again, and that one's out. He's got another water bottle. I think at Wrestle Kingdom this past year in 2018, I think I counted, might have been 10 water bottles he went through on his entrance. I don't even wonder how you fit that many water bottles on your person when going to, even if he's in jeans and he's got all those pockets. How do you fit 10 water bottles on you? It's amazing. So KES jump starts at the bell, and they surround Yano. Archer and Yano end up starting the match. So Yano does his break spot where he just goes to the ropes, and as they run up to him, break. So Yano tags in Makabe, and lots of shut-ups from Archer.
I love when Yano just runs right past little Lance Archer hoity-toity, as I have written down here, and he just tags Makabe. It's just like classic Yano hilarity.
Mm-hmm. And Archer says "shut up" a lot, just yelling at the crowd.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Yano tags back in on Makabe and exposes the buckle. He does the Yano Tor, but before he can do the Roo, Archer comes up behind him and hits a full Nelson Slam, which is a good spot.
Winner.
Yeah. Davey's in. Davey goes into the buckle, which is this is actually hilarious because apparently he hates comedy wrestling, and here he is having to work a match with Yano and do all his comedy spots.
Okay, that does make sense because I was like, every time Davey Boy Smith went into the turnbuckle, like the exposed turnbuckle, he just like sold it like god awfully. Like he didn't do anything. So I guess that could be part of it.
Yeah, I remember he got in a bit of a Twitter war with Kenny Omega after his match with Yano from the G1 later this year. Dave's burying it, and Kenny's burying Davey back to him. Apparently they made up, and they were just both in, like, Kenny was exhausted from the G1 and in a bad mood, and Davey was in a bad mood, so they just made up and put it behind him. But
that's funny.
Yeah, apparently, that's where the world found out his hatred for comedy wrestling. Yano tags to Ishii, and Ishii runs wild. He teases a suplex on Archer, but gets it instead. Archer's tall. They like their tall men in New Japan, so whenever they get any tall guy, they always have the immovable object gimmick. So, to be fair, Ishii's like 5'6".
Yeah,
so
Ishii does that well too. So it's like it makes sense.
So yeah, the idea that Ishii wouldn't be able to suplex Archer is not exactly a crazy notion. Hanma tries the Kokeshi headbutt, but he misses. Davey cuts Ishii off, and Hanma tags in Ishii after a little bit. And he runs wild, gets the Kokeshi, but Davey with a bridging butterfly suplex, which actually looks really good for a 2 count. The physics of that are a bit weird. How you can double underhook and bridge and still have the shoulders down. You have to, I guess, kind of let up on it a little bit, but it does look cool. Archer hits a power slam for a 2. Davey hits a back suplex for a 2. Hanma, though, rallies with a jumping Kokeshi headbutt. Makabe is in illegally and runs wild. Hits the 10 punches on Davey. And he whips Davey into a Kokeshi headbutt, which that actually looks pretty cool. I like that.
No, I like that.
And then there's a low Kokeshi headbutt for a 2, like the guy's sitting up and Hanma runs in and dives into him while he's sitting up.
Too many
Looks funny. Yano tags in Hanma right before he hits a Kokeshi headbutt, so he goes for a cover, but it doesn't count because Yano's legal. Another instance of triple threat tag match fuckery.
Yeah.
Archer hits a crossbody on Hanma, which I guess probably sucks. Actually, it's Hanma and Yano. He hits both of them at the same time. It's got to suck to have a guy that big landing on you. He goes for a chokeslam, and Yano rolls him up for a 2. Makabe comes in, hits a corner clothesline, and a double lariat on KES. And he hits the spider suplex on Yano, which is like a German suplex off the top rope, but he grips his legs onto the top rope, so he just sits back up, which is a good setup for his King Kong knee drop, but he doesn't get it. KES goes for the killer bomb, but it's stopped. They hit the heart attack instead. So a similar finish to Wrestle Kingdom. Yano hits a double low blow on Killer Elite Squad, and then a low blow on Makabe. Ishii follows in with a lariat, and Yano rolls him up for a 3. Yano and Ishii retain the tag titles, and out of anger, KES attack Young Boys, like Suzuki taught them. So what did you think of this match?
It was fun. Nothing. Honestly, there was nothing wrong with it. Got a bit of Yano fun. Got a bit of some serious stuff from KS, and it was a good mix. I may have preferred just a straight one-on-one, so we didn't have to 2 months in a row have 2 triple threat tag matches. But it was still quite fun, and I thought it was a quite good match. Everyone kind of played off each other's characters really well. It's funny because you've got the 2 teams, the one kind of goofy team with Yano and Ishii, the one more serious team with KS, and then a team that's like split down the middle. You've got Makabe, who is a little bit more serious than Honma, so it just kind of works well. But I thought it was still fun, so.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. It was about the same as the Wrestle Kingdom match. Is kind of the same dynamic, too. You had the babyface team of Makabe and Honma, the big brute heel team with KES and Guerrillas of Destiny, and then you had the sneaky champions, or in this case champions, the sneaky team with Yano on it. So, same dynamic, similar match, pretty much the same finish. Is okay. I think they use these triple threat tags sometimes to build their tag feuds the rest of the year, because you can get a series of matches, or at least one match with KES challenging one-on-one, and GBH one-on-one, and if one of those teams wins the titles, then you can do that match. So, I guess it's just a way to prolong the tag division, because they do this later in the year with War Machine, KES, and Guerrillas of Destiny, where they just have endless 3-way matches and wrestle each other forever. But yeah, I think their plans kind of get thrown into disarray because Archer and Smith are about to both go down injured, so they're going to be out for a couple of months. They probably would have got a one-on-one match at some point, but that is not going to be the case. So yeah, as for this match, yeah, like I said, fine. Nice to see my boy Lance. I'm entertained.
Seems like every match has had a boy in it. So.
A lot of my boys are New Japan boys. Taka, Chase Owens. We'll see more of him at some point. Lance Archer. Yeah, big fan of the New Japan undercard guys. And I was a big fan of KES beating up Young Lions, keeping with that Suzuki-gun tradition. All right, so it's time to move on. It is time for our main event.
It's the big one.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit, is for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Introducing first, from Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture, he is the king of Pancrase. He is the leader of Suzuki-gun. He is the man with the worst attitude in the world. He is Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki trained in the New Japan Dojo and debuted in 1988 against Takashi Iizuka, just so happens, who would become his catch wrestling mentor. He left in 1993 and founded Pancrase, one of the first mixed martial arts organizations in the world, with Masakatsu Funaki. This is who he founded that with, not Kung Funaki. That would be the closest he had ever come to Pancrase, Kung Funaki. He finished his MMA career in 2013 with a record of 30 wins, 19 losses, most of those being in Pancrase. That one in 2013 that he fought was actually his first match in about 9 years, I think it was, since his last. So realistically, he finished in 2004, but he had one last match in 2013. He worked as a freelancer from 2003 to 2006 until beginning a run with All Japan Pro Wrestling that lasted until 2010. In December of 2010, he made a surprise return to New Japan, attacking Yuji Nagata to set up a match with him at Wrestle Kingdom 5. Suzuki would have another match with Nagata at Wrestle Kingdom 7, this one featuring an amazing live performance by Ayumi Nakamura, who sang Kaze ni Nare for Suzuki's entrance.
Suzuki Minoru が姿を見せました。中学卒業と同時にプロレスラーになると決めたという鈴木みのる。その時からすでに将来自分のテーマ曲は中村さんに作ってもらうと決めていたそうです。
He had some incredible matches with guys like Tanahashi and AJ Styles, among others. Just days after having a shoot-style match with Kazushi Sakuraba at Wrestle Kingdom 9, Suzuki-gun invaded Noah. In storyline, they had been banished from New Japan for causing all the mayhem and destruction, but in reality, they were sent there to help Noah, who was financially struggling, stay afloat. They returned last month, and Suzuki challenged Okada for the title, and here we are. So I love Minoru Suzuki.
Who doesn't?
This would have been. I think I saw him at Wrestle Kingdom 9, but this would have been my first big exposure to him. He's just so great at everything he does. He is one of the few guys in the world in wrestling that you can actually believe that this guy's going to murder you. Like, he will fight you for real, and maybe not even mean to. He might kill you in that fight. He's great at that. He's great at wrestling, which is weird for, like, he started in wrestling, to be fair, but for an MMA guy to be so good at, like, the nuances of pro wrestling. He had a match in DDT a couple years ago. It was an empty arena Tokyo Dome match, and there was this one spot where there was this guy who wasn't in the match just, like, hitting him from behind, and Suzuki's not selling any of it, and he just, like, does this over-the-shoulder turn and scowl at him. It's amazing. Like, things like that he's so great at. And we'll see in this match a lot of the stuff he's really good at. I love watching this guy. He's probably not, like, my favorite wrestler in the world. Like, my favorite wrestler changes based on what day it is. It's either Omega, Naito, AJ Styles, or Okada. It depends on what they've done this past week. But Suzuki's probably my favorite guy to just watch him do his thing. He's so good at it, just being that tough bastard who will kill you.
I would agree.
And his opponent from Tokyo, Japan, he is the Rainmaker, he is the leader of Chaos, he is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada. So not much has changed with Okada since Wrestle Kingdom. As mentioned last time, and just a minute ago, he got beat up by Suzuki at New Year's Dash, and now has to defend his title against the leader of Suzuki-gun, returning to try to take the crown. And for the first time, this is kind of a surprising fact, win the IWGP Heavyweight title. Suzuki's never been IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Wow.
Which is one of those things that, like, you feel like he would have been, but he just hasn't. The timing's never been right for him. He was in Pancrase during the 90s and early 2000s. He was in All Japan in the mid-2000s. The timing's just never been right. When he came back, Tanahashi was on top, so you would think a guy like him would be champion at some point. But yeah, 48 years old at this point, I believe, and never been champion.
Still beating everybody.
Still awesome, yeah. So we get the championship introductions. Taichi had come out to ringside with Suzuki, and there's big Taichi Wakaire chants. Taichi go home.
Yes, that was good. I liked it.
I always love those chants. So they lock hands to start off with, like a test of strength type thing, and they fight for position. Okada does his fake slap on the ropes, where they go to the ropes for the break, and Okada's breaking, and nope, no slap.
People should eventually just see that coming and just start being like, whatever.
Yeah, just slap him when he comes in with it, because imagine that, like his head's moving towards you and you slap him. That'd be quite a move.
Or you just do nothing, because you know that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. And Suzuki does the same to him. He returns the favor. Immediately, Suzuki goes after the knee and goes for a knee bar really early. Okada retreats to the outside. Suzuki kicks the leg, and Okada calls for more. He's doing that fighting babyface thing. He's just, come on, hit me more. You got nothing. And Suzuki with some forearms and a basement drop kick by Okada. The triangle drop kick sends Suzuki to the floor, which is, he's on the apron. Okada springs off the rope and kicks him to the floor. And then he hits the guardrail draping DDT, which always looks good. And I'm sure that's one of the things that they were thinking about when giving him that move. When he takes the bump on the floor, it makes a nice loud thud on the mat. So it sounds a lot cooler than it might actually be. Because it's just a DDT at the end of the day. In this day and age, a DDT doesn't mean all that much, but that nice big thud that you hear, so impactful. It's one of the things that makes Okada great. He doesn't. If you actually look at his moves, there's not a lot of big high risk moves.
He does a flapjack.
He does a flapjack. Yeah, there's not a lot of big flashy moves, but the way he does them are all so great, like that DDT. Okada controls the match and sends Suzuki back outside, but then Taichi gets involved, and Suzuki takes control because of that. Suzuki uses a camera, chairs, guardrail. It's a chair shot to the knee. He's using all these weapons. It's all legal on the outside in New Japan. If it doesn't happen in the ring, it's not illegal. And Okada gets his knee caught in the ropes, and Suzuki drop kicks his knee while it's trapped there. Puts on a knee bar, and then transitions back into a heel hook. There's some great selling by Okada here. He's got this is what this match is built around, is Okada selling and his facial expressions. It's so great. This is why Okada's one of the best
Okada's
in the world.
one of the best because he's one of the best at selling.
Yeah,
so.
he can make anyone look good. Like, freaking, he had a good match with Fale.
Yeah, no.
He can make anyone look like a world beater. I remember after the Backlash pay-per-view where Big Cass had that stinker with Daniel Bryan. On the Bryan and Vinny show, they were talking about... Someone asked the question, like, could Big Cass... Like, if they were saying if Big Cass can't have a good match with Daniel Bryan, who could he possibly have a good match with? And someone asked the question, could he have a good match with Okada? it would be his greatest challenge.
Yeah.
But like
he could do it.
Yeah, they'd have to believe he can do it. If you had a good match with Fale, I'm sure you could have a good match with Cass. Okada manages to counter back into the cross-leg STF. What is this? Red Ink, I believe it was called.
Yep.
Same move that Steve Corino forgot the name for. But Suzuki gets a rope break. Okada hits a stomp off the second rope. He jumps off the second rope and just stomps him. And then they go into some forearm exchanges, which people should know by now. You don't do that with Minoru Suzuki.
Nope.
Suzuki wins the forearm exchange. And some disrespectful stomps, just, scraping his boot on his head, just stomping the back of his head, things like that. The really arrogant heel stuff. And then slaps in the corner. But Okada rallies, cross-arm neck breaker, and he starts his big comeback. Goes for his DDT part of his comeback, where the guy comes out of the corner into the DDT, and then he sells his knee after that. Awesome. And he does the kip up and, grabs at his knee. Okada goes to the top, but Suzuki's up, so he has to jump over him, and he lands on his feet, and of course, selling the knee, because he's great. And Suzuki kicks him for a 2 count. We get back to more forearms, which, again, don't do that with Suzuki. Off an Irish whip, Suzuki slides into a knee bar, which looks really cool. Suzuki's so great at submissions, which you'd expect to be from an MMA practitioner. But yeah, that sliding knee bar looks really cool. And while he's in this knee bar, we get an evil Suzuki face, that evil laugh, sticking his tongue out.
That's awesome.
Another reason why Suzuki's so great. And he's also really good at wrenching submissions at the right moment to increase the drama. Like, you're worried about, is he going to tap, And he pulls back on it, oh my god, he's going to tap here. But no, he's so great at that. But finally, Okada gets to the ropes for a break. And Okada starts to fire up. He hits his top rope drop kick that sends Suzuki to the outside. But Suzuki rolls right back in, which I thought was kind of weird. That didn't lead to anything. They just went back in the ring.
Autopilot from Okada, I guess.
And he hits his springboard shotgun drop kick. Not quite as devastating as on Kenny Omega, but still, it looks great. I hate the flat back bump on the drop kick from the top rope because it looks like it sucks, but Okada makes that move look so good. And Okada hits his elbow drop and the Rainmaker pose. Goes for the Rainmaker, but Suzuki rolls through into an Achilles lock. Again, amazing. And he transitions that into a knee bar. And they tease Gato throwing in the towel. There are lots of shots with Gato, with his head in his hands, and he's got the towel, the Rainmaker towel in his hand. Is Gato going to throw in the towel? Because there's no way Okada's going to quit. But he might want to do that to preserve his knee. After getting out of the move, Okada gets whipped, but he collapses while running to the ropes.
It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. It was beautiful.
Suzuki puts on a figure 4, and some more great selling from Okada. Finally gets the break. Okada manages to hit a Death Valley driver. Commentary talks about Suzuki toying with Okada. It might be a flaw in Suzuki's game. He likes to prove his dominance and not necessarily go for the kill. He'll mess around with him. As we'll see in a lot of Suzuki matches, he'll put on a rear naked choke, but instead of just choking the guy out, he'll let him go to try to go for the Gotch-style pile driver. Okada strikes, and he tries the tombstone pile driver, but he can't get it. Suzuki throws Red Shoes into Okada, and we get a rare ref bump in New Japan. Taichi's in, KES runs out from the back, but Ishii and Yano come in to help drive off all the invaders, and Okada fights off Tanahashi because he's a babyface and he can overcome the odds.
He doesn't fight off Tanahashi.
Did I say Tanahashi?
Yep, you said.
Fuck me.
You need to learn your wrestlers in your WrestleManias and your Wrestle Kingdoms.
I'm sorry, people. I'm reading my notes too fast. He fights off Taichi because he's a babyface that overcomes the odds.
You compared Taichi to... You thought Taichi was Tanahashi.
And what's wrong with that?
Everything. Everything is wrong with that.
So he hits his awesome drop kick on Suzuki, and he goes for a Gotch tombstone pile driver, which actually looks pretty cool. That. So he goes for the tombstone and then hooks the leg. but it's countered. And Suzuki puts back on the knee bar, and then the Achilles lock. Okada teases tapping out. He tries to fight out. Suzuki kicks him while he's in the hold. So he stands up out of the move to fall back into the move to wrench it even more. That, I think, is just... It looks really cool. And he does that twice. So he actually stands up on the hold and then just sits back down to get that extra torque. Okada kicks, but he can't escape the hold. Suzuki crosses the legs into an Achilles lock. So he's got like the legs crossed while in the submission. So there's now that he was trying to kick to get out of it, but Suzuki caught him, and now he's even more tied up. Red Shoes is actually almost encouraging Okada to tap out, and the commentary puts it over. Like, he's telling Okada, like, it's okay to tap out. You're in a lot of pain. You can get the title back. Don't ruin your career.
Somehow Red Shoes adds so much to these matches.
I know.
It's amazing.
He is such a great ref. When he's not supposed to be seen, he's not seen, which is what a ref's supposed to do. You're not supposed to notice he's there. And then when he is seen, he can add so much to it. Yeah. After about 3 to 5 minutes in just these, a long time in these holds, Okada finally gets the ropes. Oh man, one thing about this match, we'll probably talk about it more at the end. It's amazing when you actually look at this, how much of this match is spent laying on the mat in holds.
Suzuki has started to do that. I've noticed. He has a match with Tanahashi this year where it was literally all submissions, but somehow it's still got the traditional professional wrestling drama when it's just sitting in a submission hold. Zack Sabre Jr. does that very well too. So
we'll talk more about that when this match is over. There's a stiff-looking knee strike that Suzuki hits for a 2. Okada gets up and Suzuki starts doing the open hand slaps. Okada just walks right through him, and then they do their slap exchange, which always looks really nasty because there's not really any good way to fake that. You just have to get slapped.
Ow. Hopefully you heard that.
Suzuki goes around the back for a sleeper. That's countered into the reverse neck breaker. And then Suzuki's murder dropkick, which always looks great. Okada has the prettiest dropkick in wrestling, but Suzuki, I think, has the best because it looks like he kills people with that dropkick.
He does kill people with dropkicks.
Yeah, it's just like 1 foot right in the face. If we ever get to Wrestle Kingdom 12, he murders Goto with one at that show. Like, he's so good at being a murderous fiend. He hits some more strikes on Okada, then goes for the sleeper, but like I talked about before, instead of just holding that sleeper until Okada goes out, he turns around to the Gotch-style pile driver, but he's countered with a backdrop. The classic pile driver counter, throw him over the shoulder. And Okada rolls through after that backdrop into a Rainmaker and maintains wrist control, but Suzuki tries to slap to get out of it. He can't do it. Okada hits another Rainmaker, and we get a double down spot. Okada goes for the Rainmaker again, but Suzuki ducks it, goes for the sleeper hold, but that's countered. Rainmaker countered. On this last Rainmaker, he tries to roll through into the knee bar, but Okada blocks him, catches him, hits a deadlift German suplex, grabs the wrist, Rainmaker.
But now Okada will attempt a Rainmaker. Underneath, sleeper hold, counter, Rainmaker, no! Back to the leg, no! Maintains waist control, back to the wrist, Rainmaker! My God, Okada has done it! Unbelievable!
And Okada wins an incredible submission and selling clinic, retaining the title over Minoru Suzuki. Holy shit, what did you think of this?
So, the thing about these... New Japan has a couple different styles of matches. You get the more traditional, big move professional wrestling match sometimes, but then every once in a while you'll throw in a Suzuki or a Zack Sabre, someone who's very good at submissions, and you get more of a submission and selling of a limb-based match. And this is one of the best examples of how that can work very well. Okada, one of the best sellers in the business, like, it's just amazing selling his legs, so you really buy into the fact that he might tap out with what are traditionally seen as just submission rest holds, but they're actually like big, potentially tapping out moves, and part of that is Minoru Suzuki being awesome. But then you still get, like, the finishing sequence was all professional wrestling melodrama goodness. So somehow they worked both of those into the match, and it was fantastic, and it was awesome. A very great main event.
Yeah, this is really good. This is, aside from the Omega match, this is one of my favorite matches that Okada has on this title reign. Everything was perfect. I think these two have the perfect dichotomy, if you will. Okada is a masterful seller, and Suzuki is masterful at working submission holds. Partially because he's been doing it for 20 years. Actual submission holds. He knows what they're supposed to look like and how they're supposed to feel and what the other guy's supposed to be looking like while you're in it. So, one of the amazing things about this match is that if you actually take note of how long they actually spent lying on the ground in a submission hold, it's amazing because probably half of this match, at least, they were both on the ground, not doing anything, and it's still an incredibly dramatic and incredibly interesting match. That's partially down to Suzuki knowing how to work those holds, when to wrench, when to switch to a different one, how to get into these holds, and Okada's selling of being in pain while in these holds. It's masterful. It's an achievement in working a body part and selling. And the finish is, I think, absolutely perfect, metaphorically, because Suzuki tries to go for that knee bar one last time, but in order to win this match, for Okada to conquer this adversary, he conquers what that adversary was due.
His strategy.
The strategy, the entire story of this is his leg, and he wins the match because he's finally able to overcome that obstacle of having his leg worked on. He's able to block the knee bar attempt, and then immediately after that, the finishing move and the pin. It's a perfect ending to this match, and this match was really, really good. I'm not doing, like we've talked about, we're not doing star ratings.
Don't even bring it up.
I will say this. Some people believe that the difference between like a 5-star match and any other type of match is that you feel a 5-star match. You don't have to think about, is this a 5-star match, is it not? It's like, that's a 5-star match. This is one of those for me. That's a 5-star match. I'm not, for whatever star ratings are worth, this is as good as you can expect this kind of match to be by, I think, the two perfect people for the job. I can't think of a better person to wrestle this kind of match than Minoru Suzuki, as in his role, and I can't think of a better person to take this kind of beating than Okada. So wonderful, great main event, and Okada cuts his promo afterwards.
3 things.
Yep, the 3 things,
Me
which
too.
There's no translator at this point, so we don't really know what's going on. But yeah, he heads back up the ramp to his music, and Kevin Kelly signs us out, and we are done.
The 45th year of competition. New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be the biggest of all time. Okada, still the champ. For Don Callis, I'm Kevin Kelly. We say goodnight from Sapporo. We'll see you in a few. Facebook Live, and then Tuesday, Korakuen Hall. Make sure you're there. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
And that's the show. What'd you think of the show overall, dude? I don't know if we even talked about that last time.
Yeah, I was gonna start.
Oh, you were gonna do that? Oh.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I'm the one who says, "What do you think of this show?" But whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, do it. That's fine. Take control. Be the be Vince. Take control of the entire thing and.
All right.
Whatever, it's fine.
Good thing I'm cutting this. You're
fine.
burying me.
I'm gonna bury you any chance I get.
So what did you think of the show overall?
So, New Japan shows, a lot of the time, are difficult to recommend watching the whole thing because the undercard tags aren't as important. If you're like us and kind of going to watch a lot in a row, so you kind of get that full story, the undercard tags might be something to watch. So, like, if I would to recommend the show to somebody, watch the 10-man and then all the matches after that. That's what I would do for this show because those matches get you a pretty good sense of New Japan. Of course, go out and watch the main event. The main event was fantastic. But as a show overall, usually when I'm watching New Japan, like in the early stages, I'm just kind of half paying attention, and then once we get to the big stuff, I fully pay attention. So it makes it a little bit interesting to review as a show as a whole. But like the main event itself is all you really need to recommend the show to somebody. So it was very good, and I much enjoyed it. Other than the big blemish right in the middle with the 2 men who I will not be naming again.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll start with the bad, and then we'll go to the meh, and then the good. So the bad, Yoshihashi and Iizuka, horrible.
Not Yoshihashi. No, he was great.
Yoshihashi was okay, but that match, just one move. Izuka, one move, and it was quite possibly the easiest move in all of wrestling. That's all he could do.
That match was a definite down.
Some of the title matches, sometimes they're the interference and the clusterfuckery of it, like in the three-way, can kind of hurt it for me a little bit. It makes me hard to take it seriously sometimes. It's like, if this is supposed to be a serious, prestigious title, and here we have 6 guys in the ring at the same time just doing moves. So, you know, not that it was a horrible thing, but it's one of those things. It's like, I prefer just a straight tag match. And that was really all for the awful. There's lots of meh. A lot of the undercard tag matches are meh. Kawato and Kushida against Despi and Kanemaru is okay. Decent opener, nothing special. Ospreay, Jado, Gedo, Shibata, Liger, Tiger. That was probably a bit better, but still not a lot going on. I like Ospreay standing up to Shibata. That's the best part of that. Yoshitatsu and his Young Lions against the third generation was okay, but probably the least of the undercard tag matches for me. 10-man was pretty good. It would be like it would be either the high side of meh or the low side of good. It was entertaining, but it's still a 10-man where not a lot's going to happen. All right, and for what I liked, Juice had a very good performance, and he's only going to get better. It wasn't the best match in the world, but it was decent little underdog story. Taka and Taichi against Roppongi Vice was pretty good. Not as good as the Young Bucks, but still okay. And the three-way tag was decent, but as I mentioned, I have a little trouble with cluster fucking sometimes. Yeah. Because it's just, how am I supposed to take this seriously?
And this is off topic, but the only match that seemed to work in was on the recent NXT when it was Roddy and Pete Dunne versus Authors of Pain versus Undisputed Era. Like, that worked for some reason in that match, but in a lot of matches it doesn't really work very well.
It's hard to do, because you can have tag team dynamics in a straight tag match. There are certain things you can do to get the crowd into it. When it's three ways, most of those go out the window, because you can't cut a guy off and work him over and build to the hot tag and cut off the hot tag and all that, because there's 3 teams. You could just tag in one of the other guys in the other corner. But anyway, it was okay. Good to see my boy doing something.
So many boys in this show. That's a big up.
And of course, the main event was a masterpiece.
It was very good.
What it was. For what it was. It might not be the best wrestling match in the history of the world, but for what it is, I think it might be the best match of its kind. It's a perfect representation of selling, of working a limb, of how to get the most out of the least. Because like we were talking about, how much of this match did they spend lying on either their backs or their stomachs? How much damage do you think they actually did to each other in this match? Probably not all that much.
Yep.
But they made it feel like they were doing a ton of damage to each other. And that's what wrestling is all about, getting the most out of the least. Mm-hmm. But I think overall, this is kind of quite a come down from Wrestle Kingdom 11. Just because that was arguably, it's one of the best pay-per-views in all of wrestling history, I would think. And to come down to this, a B show with one really good main event and the rest of the card that's kind of, at worst, forgettable, at best, slightly above average.
I mean, that's usually how New Japan is, so you get...
that's how most of the undercard is, but usually after intermission, the matches get pretty good.
Yep.
But these were just okay. They were good matches, nothing that I would remember past just seeing the show, except for Suzuki and Okada, so... A decent show, but quite the come down from Wrestle Kingdom. And it might stay that way for a little while. There's a couple of lull periods in New Japan's schedule. Right after Wrestle Kingdom, you have to wait until New Japan Cup, and then you get into some good singles matches in there, and then Sakura Genesis. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bit of a lull after the G1 and before Wrestle Kingdom. But that's one good thing about this. There's not a lot of lulls, and not a very long lull.
And it doesn't go into complete trash like WWE usually does.
They usually pick back up with big singles tournaments pretty quickly. Like, you got New Japan Cup in the spring, Best of the Super Juniors in the early summer, G1 Climax at the end of the summer, even like Tag League, that can be pretty good in certain places at the end of the year. So there's only a few lulls you get with not a lot going on. We're kind of starting on one, but it was still a decent show. So I would recommend the main event for sure. Maybe Taka and Taichi against Roppongi Vice. And if you want to see some early Juice Robinson stuff, I'd recommend Goto and Juice, definitely. And I guess at that point, you might as well just watch the three-way tag. You're already watching most of the show after intermission, yeah.
Just watch the match before intermission and then after it. Just because that's like super fun New Japan, and you get to see a lot of guys. So
yeah, exactly. So, all right, I guess that wraps it up for here. Thanks for making it to the end of episode 2, if you did.
I'm surprised I made it to the end of episode 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you good for episode 3? You gonna make it to episode 3?
Could be. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. But we made it to episode 2, so we can say that we didn't give up after 1.
Oh, no, we're not those kind of people, or podcasters, or whatever.
Yeah, we're not quitters after 1 episode.
If there's even one person that like, because supposedly we have 8 subscribers, which is insane. Even if I have one person that will be interested in watching, I'd be like, huh, alright, we'll try it. So there we go.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll grow a little bit more. Maybe it'll grow from 8 to 9. Oh my god, 9.
9. That'd be amazing.
Alright, thanks everybody for watching. Next up we have, well, it's on YouTube, so it's a video, but yes, listening. Mostly.
You don't put any video up, though. It's just a picture.
It's just a picture, yeah. But...
So they're listening.
Okay,
they would not be watching.
Listening.
You don't know how to speak on this episode.
You freaking grammar Nazi, though.
You don't know how to speak on this episode.
Alright. So next up, we got New Beginning in Osaka. Main event there is going to be Michael Elgin challenging Tetsuya Naito for the Intercontinental Championship. That should be a good one. So until then, whenever that ends up happening, we will see you then. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Alright, I'll edit this later. Let's go watch G1.
Alright, let's go! Woo!